The casino is almost silent, not because nobody is winning, because almost everyone is waiting. A roulette wheel slows, cards slide across green felt, a slot machine flashes one symbol short. For a moment, your heart races. Then, nothing happens. Most people think gambling is about money. It isn't. Money is only the language. Your brain is chasing something much older. Long before casinos existed, your ancestors survived by taking risks. Every hunt was uncertain. Every new path could hide food or death. Evolution rewarded brains that kept trying after failure. Without that instinct, humans might never have crossed mountains, oceans, or deserts. But the same system that helped us survive can also trap us. How can losing make someone want to play even more? That question puzzled scientists for decades. The answer begins with a tiny chemical: dopamine. For years, people called dopamine the pleasure chemical. That turns out to be wrong. Researchers like Professor Wolfram Schultz showed something far stranger. Dopamine is not mainly about pleasure, it is about prediction. Your brain constantly tries to guess the future. Will this action lead to food? Will this choice lead to safety? Will this risk pay off? Every prediction becomes a tiny experiment. When reality is better than expected, dopamine surges. When reality matches expectations, almost nothing happens. When reality is worse, dopamine falls. Your brain updates its model, then it tries again. This process happens thousands of times every day. Usually, it keeps us alive. But gambling changes the rules. Imagine pressing a button. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes you win. Sometimes nothing for an hour. Your brain never knows which outcome comes next. That uncertainty is exactly what makes gambling so powerful. Psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered this decades ago while studying animal behavior. He placed pigeons inside simple boxes. The birds could peck a button, sometimes food appeared, sometimes it didn't. Then Skinner changed one detail. Food arrived randomly, not every fifth peck, not every 10th, just whenever the machine decided. Something remarkable happened. The pigeons pecked far more often than before. They became almost impossible to stop. This became known as a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. It remains one of the strongest learning systems ever discovered. Casinos did not invent it. Nature did. Berry bushes do not produce fruit every day. Fishing does not guarantee a catch. Animals survive because they keep trying through uncertainty. Gambling takes that ancient survival mechanism and places it inside a building filled with lights, sounds, and carefully designed machines. Every spin whispers the same promise. Maybe this time, maybe the next one. Maybe you are only one decision away. Have you ever noticed how an almost win feels strangely exciting? That feeling is no accident. It is one of the most powerful illusions your brain can experience. Scientists call it the near miss. Imagine a slot machine showing 3 symbols. 2 match perfectly, the third stops one space away. You lose. Objectively, that outcome is identical to any other losing spin. You receive nothing. Your balance falls. The game is over. Yet your brain reacts very differently. In 2009, neuroscientist Luke Clark and his colleagues scanned the brains of gamblers while they experienced near misses. The results were surprising. Many of the same reward circuits activated during a near miss as during an actual win. Your brain briefly treats almost like success. That tiny burst keeps motivation alive. You leave feeling closer. Closer to what? Nothing has actually changed. The odds remain exactly the same. The machine has no memory. It does not know your name. It does not care how much you lost yesterday. Every spin is independent. But your brain is built to search for patterns. Pattern recognition made humans extraordinary. It helped us predict seasons, track animals, read the weather, recognize faces, build civilizations. Unfortunately, it also makes us see meaning where none exists. This tendency has a name: apophenia. It is the habit of finding patterns inside randomness. A roulette wheel lands on black 7 times. Red suddenly feels overdue. A slot machine hasn't paid in 20 minutes. It feels ready. A coin lands heads 5 times. Tails seems more likely. Mathematically, none of these beliefs are true. Each event begins from 0. Yet the feeling remains incredibly persuasive. Psychologists call one version of this the gambler's fallacy. Imagine flipping a perfectly fair coin. 10 heads appear in a row. What comes next? Most people instinctively answer tails. The real answer is simple. Heads and tails are still equally likely. The coin has no history. Casinos understand this better than anyone. That is why electronic displays often show previous roulette numbers. The history creates stories inside your mind. You begin searching for streaks. You believe you have discovered hidden rules. In reality, you are watching random events wearing the disguise of meaning. Then something even stranger happens. Winning can actually make future losses feel easier to ignore. Behavioral economist Daniel Kahneman spent decades studying how humans evaluate gains and losses. His work showed something surprising. People do not experience money objectively. We experience expectations. Winning raises expectations. Losing threatens them. The emotional pain of losing is often stronger than the joy of winning the same amount. Researchers call this loss aversion. Imagine finding $100. It feels good. Now imagine losing $100 the next day. The emotional impact is usually much stronger. Your brain wants to erase that pain, fast. Gambling offers a dangerous illusion. Maybe one more bet fixes everything. Maybe one win restores balance. Maybe the next spin erases the last 20. Sometimes it even works. That makes the trap even stronger. Because intermittent success teaches the brain one devastating lesson: recovery feels possible, even when the mathematics says otherwise. Why do intelligent people continue after they know the odds are against them? Because emotion and probability are processed by different systems inside the brain. One calculates, the other hopes, and hope can be astonishingly difficult to silence. Hope is one of humanity's greatest strengths. It helped our ancestors survive winters. It inspired explorers to cross oceans. It pushed scientists to test impossible ideas. Without hope, civilization would look very different. But hope has a weakness. It does not know when the game is unfair. Casinos are businesses. Their profits do not depend on lucky nights. They depend on mathematics. Every game is built around one simple idea: the house edge. It is usually small, sometimes less than 1%, sometimes much higher. That sounds harmless. It isn't. Imagine flipping a coin that lands against you just slightly more often than it should. Once, you might never notice. 100 times, the difference grows. 1,000 times, it becomes almost impossible to escape. The longer you play, the closer your results move toward the mathematical average. Statisticians call this the law of large numbers. It is one of the most reliable principles in probability. The casino does not need everyone to lose immediately. It only needs enough people to keep playing. Time does the rest. The strange truth is that your brain is not broken. It is doing exactly what evolution designed it to do. The casino did not invent human psychology. It learned how to work with it. Once you understand that, you stop asking why people cannot quit gambling. You begin asking why the human brain was ever built to believe the next spin might change everything.